Love has a way of ignoring borders, and for these 10 actors, that turned out to be completely literal. From Japan to Britain to the United States, here are 10 K-drama stars who found their person well outside the Korean entertainment bubble. Lee Ji-hoon and Ayane Mira. He was 14 years into a career built on quiet, steady work. Not the flashiest name in the industry, not the one dominating headlines, when he met a Japanese fan who didn't even speak Korean. That detail matters because it tells you something about how this connection happened, not through industry networking, not through a set, not through agencies. Just two people who found a way to communicate across a language barrier and decided it was worth the effort. They married in November 2021. And what followed was a journey he's spoken about with more honesty than most actors allow themselves in public. The couple went through IVF, lost their first baby at 8 weeks, a loss he described as sending him into depression. He said that through all of it, she was the one who held steady, who told him they'd try again, who carried the emotional weight of the process while he was still processing his own grief. Their daughter Ruhi arrived in July 2024. In December 2025, they faced a second miscarriage. He didn't hide it, neither did she. For an actor who spent years operating quietly in the background of the industry, Lee Ji-hoon has turned out to be one of the most unexpectedly open people in it. And it started the moment he stopped looking inside the bubble for his person. And the next couple's story also involves a gap that made headlines, but their ending looks very different. Shim Hyung-tak and Hirae-saya. Here are the numbers on this one. He's 18 years older than her, 10 years younger than his father-in-law, and 5 years younger than his own mother-in-law. The internet has been doing the math on this family tree for months. They met while he was in Japan for filming, dated for 4 years despite the language barrier and the age gap, registered their marriage in June 2023, and held their wedding ceremony near Mount Fuji the following month. Their son Haru was born in January 2025, 3.56 kilograms, healthy and immediately the subject of a YouTube channel the couple runs together. The detail that made fans pause, Saya gained early viral attention, partly because people noticed her resemblance to BTS's Jungkook, which is not something you expect to read about someone's wife. The family has been living their very public, very wholesome cross-cultural life ever since, and Shim Hyung-tak has never looked more grounded. But while that gap turned heads, the next entry involves a couple who have quietly built an empire across 2 countries for nearly 2 decades, Chu Ja-hyun and Yu Xiaoguang. She became such a fixture in Chinese entertainment that when people talk about Korean actresses who genuinely crossed over, not just visited, but built a real presence, her name comes first. She met Chinese actor and singer Yu Xiaoguang on a drama set, and they married in 2017, later appearing together on same bed, different dreams in a pairing that fans became genuinely invested in. The marriage has not been without turbulence. There were scandals involving him that sent the internet into a frenzy at various points. They navigated it. They're still married. 2 people from different entertainment industries, different languages, and different public expectations, finding a way to keep choosing each other through the noise. That's not nothing. Now, if that relationship required navigating scandal, the next one navigated something even messier, an entire marriage that played out on reality television. Ham So-won and Jin Hwa. The age gap here went the other direction. She married Jin Hwa, a Chinese businessman and former Idol trainee who is 18 years her junior. They appeared on Taste of Wife for years, which meant that every disagreement, every complicated moment, every cultural friction point in their cross-border marriage was processed in front of cameras. They have a daughter together. They officially divorced in 2022, though the news didn't circulate widely until 2024. She has continued discussing him on variety shows since. It's one of those situations where the cameras were so embedded in the relationship that even after it ended, the public narrative kept running. A complicated story, and an honest reminder that cross-cultural marriages face the same pressures as any other, just with more variables and, in this case, more cameras. Stepping away from the complicated, number 6's story is one of the most straightforwardly cinematic on this list. Shin Jua and Sarawat Rechanakul. She was on vacation in Thailand when she met him, Sarawat Rechanakul, whose family runs JBP International Paint, one of Thailand's major companies. They married in 2014, and she's been splitting her time between Seoul and Bangkok ever since. No scandal, no drama. Just an actress who went on holiday and came back with a completely different life. She still picks up projects occasionally, but by every indication, she's genuinely content in the world she's built. Glimpses of a high-end life across 2 countries, 2 cultures, and a story that sounds like it was written for one of the dramas she used to star in. Sometimes real life has the better script. And speaking of real life outdoing the script, number 5's couple has been living a quietly iconic cross-cultural family story for nearly 20 years. Chu Sung-hoon and Yano Shiho. He's one of the most decorated MMA fighters in Korean sports history. She's a legendary Japanese supermodel. They've been married since 2009, which makes this one of the longest-running cross-border celebrity relationships on this list. Their daughter Sarang became a household name through the return of Superman, and watching a Korean-Japanese household navigate daily life, languages, cultural expectations, parenting styles turned into genuinely compelling television. 17 years in, they're still going. The human moments are what people remember most. The slight dysfunction, the miscommunications over gifts, the imperfect everyday reality of 2 very public people from 2 very different worlds building a family together. That's harder than it looks. They've made it look easy. And now, quick pause. Which country are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. I'm always surprised by where this channel actually reaches. Jung Joon-ha and Nina. Yagi Ne. He's one of the loudest, most chaotic personalities in Korean variety television. She's a Korean-Japanese flight attendant he met at a restaurant in 2012, who he has affectionately called Nemo on air, and whose face he has mostly kept away from cameras for over a decade. They have a son, Yuha. The contrast is the whole story. A man who performs chaos professionally coming home to someone he has quietly, consistently protected from that world. He could have turned their marriage into content. The cross-cultural angle alone would have generated clicks. He chose not to. There's something to be said for that, but if his love story is defined by privacy, number 3's was defined by the kind of artistic chemistry that briefly made the whole world pay attention. Bae Doona and Jim Sturgis. She's one of the most internationally recognized Korean actresses working. Sense8, Cloud Atlas, The Kingdom. He's a British actor. They met on the set of Cloud Atlas in 2012, became a couple that felt almost too cinematically appropriate to be real, and broke up around 2015. It was one of those relationships that lived entirely in the artistic space. 2 people who clearly understood each other's world, briefly occupying the same frame, and then moving on. She has kept her personal life extremely private since. No confirmed relationships, no public partners. She works internationally. She moves between languages and industries with unusual ease, and whatever her personal life looks like now, she has clearly decided it isn't for public consumption. Good for her. But if Bae Doona keeps her personal life completely locked, number 2 made the most public, most joyful cross-cultural love story in recent K-drama history. Gong Hyo-jin and Kevin Oh, the queen of rom-coms and a Korean-American singer-songwriter. When this confirmed in 2022, the internet responded with the specific delight of something that just makes sense. They married in a private ceremony in New York. He's younger than her. They appear, by every available indication, to be completely in sync with each other's creative lives without needing to perform that fact constantly. The detail that stands out, he enlisted in the Korean military specifically to secure a stable long-term future with her, a logistical, practical act of commitment that carries more weight than most grand gestures. They've built a life between New York and Seoul. They're not constantly posting about it, and the warmth that comes through when she does mention him is the kind that doesn't need embellishment. This is just what a good match looks like. And then there's number 1, who announced his relationship, his marriage, and a pregnancy in the same breath, and had the entire K-drama world hold its breath at once. Song Joong-ki and Katie Louise Saunders. In December 2022, he confirmed he was in a relationship with Katie Louise Saunders, a former British Columbian actress who grew up between London and Rome, graduated from Bocconi University, and speaks English, Spanish, French, and Italian fluently. He announced their marriage and her pregnancy in the same statement. Their son was born in Rome in June 2023, 5 months after the wedding. Their daughter arrived in November 2024, also in Rome. He's talked about her language ability in interviews with what sounds like genuine awe. Watching her move between 4 languages at social gatherings while he stands there made him hope their children inherit that from her. Their first official public appearance as a couple came in April 2026, narrating a disability-inclusive classical concert at Seoul Arts Center, a cause they proactively sought out rather than being invited into. The contrast with where he was publicly a few years ago couldn't be more complete. This is a man who found a completely different chapter, in a different language, in a different city, and seems to be living it fully. If you want to see how some of these love stories compare to the ones that stayed inside the bubble, go check out 18 K-drama couples who secretly fell in love on set. But before you go, which couple on this list surprised you the most, and which one do you think has the most underrated love story? Drop it in the comments. I want to read every single one.